Hello everyone, welcome to another book club. We are going to talk about parenting and mothering and our children and our relationships. So come on in, we're discussing a radical awakening. Let's do this. I think I only have a few more book clubs left. Of course, I'll always do something on Instagram. I love to share my work and help people if I can, of course. So hi everyone, how are you? Come on in. Cyan27 says, I will read your book. Yes, that'll be wonderful if you read my book. Hi everyone, come on in. Okay, so we're going to talk about how, yesterday I talked about how hard it is for us to let go. And the reason why it's hard to let go is because we get so identified with who it is we were and how it is we thought things would be. And when things don't go that way, we just keep regurgitating and spinning over and over and over in our minds, right? Anyone here done that? And the mind doesn't let go of your sanity, right? It just doesn't let go. It's like you are a slave to your mind. You don't know how to stop your mind. You don't know how to control your mind. You don't know how to shift lanes. And this is why present moment living, meditation, is so important, so powerful, so pivotal, vital, necessary in order for us to cope with the struggles of life. So when we are in a relationship, in the present moment, we don't realize that we get identified. And because we get identified, we get attached. We not only get attached, we get enmeshed. And we get enmeshed with the other. And we get enmeshed with who it is they are. We get enmeshed with their moods and emotions. We get enmeshed with what the hell they're doing in their life. All because we identify with that person as being ours. We identify with that relationship as being ours. And this ownership, possession, and control is insanity. Because the other person is not you. But suddenly, just because they're your best friend, or just because they're your child, or just because they're your lover, your husband, your wife, whatever the title, you begin to imagine that they are you. So this idea that you are them and they are you is enmeshment. It comes from extreme identification, extreme attachment. Like the other person owes you everything from their fidelity to their affection, to their finances, to their attention, right? If the other person doesn't pay attention to you, you get upset. And certainly their affection, right? You want them to have affection only for you. So all of this creates deep toxicity, unhealthiness, and then you suffer. So I'm going to touch upon one aspect of this, which I talk about in my book, A Radical Awakening. Page 238, the Holy Grail of Parenthood. I'm going to talk about how this severe toxicity comes about in our parenting. So Christina asks, do women get more attached than men? Yes, I think we do, because we're less compartmentalized, right? We're less divided in our attention. We're more interconnected. So we get more enmeshed. So in parenthood, in motherhood especially, it's really hard for us to detach from our children. So I write in this book, A Radical Awakening, the Holy Grail of Parenthood. The Holy Grail of Parenthood is to raise a happy child. And this is a severe pathological delusion, okay? Because we cannot raise anybody. We can just help raise them, but they have to raise themselves into who it is they're going to be. I say this story often. When my daughter was 2 years old and she had her first birthday party, the blooming child wouldn't smile, right? It was her birthday party. I've spent like hundreds of dollars, only hundreds. But the photographer is like, what is wrong with your kid? Your kid is not smiling. And I'm like, bloody kid, can you smile? Like, do you not see how much work? Nope, the kid did not smile. And I began to realize that unless I painted a smile across her face, she was not going to smile. So my enmeshment was with her being happy. And I wanted to control her. And this is our sickness. We identify with the other person as if they are us so much that we bind to them, we enmesh with them, we depend on them, we identify with them, and then we want to own, possess, and control them. So in my book, A Radical Awakening, I talk about this in a chapter on parenthood. And I start with saying this quote, "You are only as happy as your least happy child," as the saying goes, is a quote that is garbage. It speaks to problematic issues, such as the idea that enmeshment with our children's moods is okay. It also suggests that our happiness can be deeply affected by another's happiness or lack thereof. Society considers it a sign of love and care when we share the same feelings as our children. Once again, culture has endorsed false ideas that influence us deeply. Only when we begin to deconstruct them do we liberate ourselves and our kids and save ourselves a whole lot of anxiety. Culture has long endorsed two shiny goals for parenthood: our children's happiness and success. And this is a problem, especially wanting your children to be happy. Because in that trap of wanting them to be happy, we somersault, we turn around, we stand on our heads, we speak 10 languages, and we exhaust ourselves, all in the goal of making them or someone else happy. This is not a healthy thing. This idea that we want someone else to be happy, leave alone who it is, but especially our children who have their whole life to live, is insanity. It's a delusion, and it creates control. And when it doesn't go our way, it creates anxiety. So this is the spiral we get caught on, and it is birth emerging out of a delusion of enmeshment, that we are one, we are completing each other, we are meant to feel what the other one feels. Now, oneness is not the same as we are one. You understand? Oneness consciousness means that we wholeheartedly and unconditionally feel one with everyone's pain and everyone's joy. We have deep empathy. That is oneness consciousness. But being one with another is stupidity. Yes? Oneness is different than being one with. Okay, I know it's a semantic difference, but oneness consciousness is having a consciousness of great, transcendent, unequivocal, unadulterated, unconditional joy and love for the other. Being one with someone is enmeshment, where you feel like you have to feel what they're feeling, and they're feeling what you're feeling, and you're feeling what they're feeling, and if they're sad, then you should be sad. This is complete garbage. Now, I find in my life that it shows up the most in my motherhood. I don't know about you. Maybe you can write about where it shows up for you. But in my motherhood, that's where it shows up. In motherhood, as in the movie Hustlers, I saw the movie Hustlers on a Delta flight. They say, this one sentence was so beautiful, motherhood is a mental illness. It really is, because you're so enmeshed with your children's happiness. Mothers more than fathers, I think, because mothers are less compartmentalized, that we truly believe that what they feel is our fault, what they feel is up to us, what they feel is our responsibility, and what they feel is to be controlled by us. So then we over-control our children, and we drive them crazy, and we don't allow them to have their own solitary, empowered, autonomous experience. So enmeshment is really birthed from an ideological delusion that we are supposed to be enmeshed with each other. We are supposed to be. And it comes from the ego identifying with that role of mother, that the child is mine, or the role of wife, that the husband is mine, the role of husband, that the wife is mine. Yeah? And as soon as you identify that the house is mine, the beauty is mine, the youth is mine, whatever you identify with, you are signing a consent form to suffering. You're like, hey, hello, suffering, here, I give you all my suffering. And until we understand what is the root of our suffering, we'll keep hopping from relationship to relationship, child to child, project to project, and we will not understand that the issue does not lie in the other person and what they do and their happiness or not. It truly lies in our own singular connection with our wholeness. When we are connected to our wholeness, we do not leak onto other people as much. It's really hard if you're a parent, I think. But I was just telling a girlfriend today, it's really hard for me to hurt my daughter. Really difficult. I cannot stomach it. I really can't even say no, basically. And she knows it. And she exploits that. And that's my sickness, right? Because sometimes saying no is very important, as Dr. Shefali says. It is. I just have a hard time with her being sad because I'm an enmeshed moron. So, but we do it with adults too, and that's why relationships get toxic. So if you really want to get out of a toxic loop in your relationships, you have to see the other's essence as free. You have to see your children's essence as complete autonomous beings, right? Their essence belongs to them. If you keep in mind that the other's essence belongs to them, now, of course, you can help raise them. You can help make their beds. You can help wipe their diapers clean. You can, whatever you need to do on the form, material level, you do. But you understand that their essence is unadulterable, unalterable, right? Untouchable. So it is with your husbands, with your wives, with your best friends, with people who hurt you, people who don't hurt you. They have every right to be complete morons, to be unconscious assholes, to be narcissistic, self-obsessed pigs, to be cheating, lying, stealing thieves. The other has every right to do whatever they want with their unconsciousness. You don't own it. And when we get betrayed, we think that the other owes us. It's a great idea, great concept. Guess what? Welcome to the adult world. It's brutal. No one owes you anything. Anything. No one owes you anything. And guess what? You don't owe anyone anything. So you don't do things out of ownership, owing, obligation. You do things because it's truly the flow of who you are. And that's why authenticity is so important. If you don't know who it is you are, then you're bullshitting and you're faking a persona in order to look good in front of the world. And as long as you're trying to look good in front of the world, you're faking your existence away. Do not fake your existence away. Do not. Of course, protect your children. Your children need protection. But besides your children, no one deserves your fakery. No one deserves your chicanery. No one deserves your falsity. You deserve to be your authentic self. Don't give away your authentic self and fake it, because no one deserves it. No one should be that important that you need to fake your authentic self. Fuck it. If you're angry, you're angry. If you're upset, you're upset. You're vulnerable, you're vulnerable. Don't have pride, because as long as you check in with yourself and you ask yourself, do I want to be authentic? Is this authentic? What is authentic? And if your answers from within are all go, 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 then be authentic. Never fake it if your authentic self is right there and you're afraid to show your authentic self. So the more we are in our authentic self, in touch with our highs and our lows and our angers and our jealousies, then we will not ask our children to be happy. Be happy. We'll stop that bullshit. We'll allow our children to be authentic, right? So we can only honor authenticity when we honor authenticity within ourselves. So it all starts from knowing who it is we are, being grounded in who it is we are, being authentic to who it is we are. When we start there, then we stay connected to who we are. Then our tendency to depend on others, to follow their lead, to be enmeshed with them, to identify with them, lowers. So as long as your connection is high, your capacity to stray is going to be minimal. But if your connection to yourself is not strong, then you're going to flail and fail and sway and swerve in the wind. So it all comes down to your powerful connection with your beautiful self. Thank you for listening to me, guys. I was talking about concepts from my book, A Radical Awakening. I hope you go get it. I will see you soon. Be authentic.